friends, let's jump into the meat of this now. What we're going to do now is jump into actually implementing the CERT to teach some of the modules in the prescribed NRA Basic Pistol Curriculum. This was going to be focused on position, the position block, all right? We're going to look at the isosceles position and some best practices to teach that in the class. We want to always incorporate the TPI. If we can remember back the NRA Instructor Development course, the total participation involvement. The more people get hands-on and everything, the better experience they have, the more fun they have, the easier it is on you, and their overall learning experience goes up. Another thing the NRA Instructor Development course stressed on, if we can think back and remember that, is that trinity of knowledge, the skills, the hands-on aspects, and the affective, the emotional tie-in, right, to whatever is being taught. That's a key trio that needs, for under adult learning theory model, needs to be in place to get information in our little brains as best as possible. So you have the book knowledge, right, the actual what it is, the words, the text, the verbiage. You have the hands-on element, and some emotional buy-in, some kind of an emotional buy-in that, okay, this information has value. I got to know this. So, all right, so in that end, then what we're going to do here is I'm going to throw out some best practices which we've come across for getting a class all involved hands-on and doing it logistically smooth and safe and not costing any more time. I'm going to assume that, let's say, for this assumption, we have 16 people in a class, all right? 8 people, and you have 8 certs, right? You have your own personal pro. Maybe you have 8 performers on the line, performer models. You set up already logistically, you know, where your little dry fire station is, okay? And it's pretty smooth. They get up and they get there, and we're not talking like a huge endeavor for that to happen. Before they get up, you say, okay, everyone, you can maybe split up. Okay, these 8, you're going to go on and get a cert. These 8, go ahead and grab your books, all right? I do believe the more people tie in, as we know, this is the current edition of this book. It's pretty fantastic, the information in there. But if the students tie into it during the class, they're more likely to tie into it home, use it as a reference, use it to teach their friends and family, to carry on, pass it on, right, so to speak. So we're talking about isosceles. Here's protocol. So, all right, first 8 people up front, just go ahead and stand ready with the certs. Just keep them down range, please. Just naturally as you hold it, but just keep it down range. People behind, we're going to walk along, and each person, positions 1 through 8, is going to read 1 sentence at a time. And everyone who has a cert, who's on the firing line, just listen to what they say, be coached, and we're going to learn this together. Okay. Theory here is that they're getting involved. The people reading and on deck are kind of like, oh, I got to read this. I better kind of know what I'm going to say. So they're not overly stressed, but if someone has some reading deficiencies, then you have to deal with that. But everyone's involved. Okay, it works out really fantastic. So lane position 1. All right, you may have. Okay, Susie, can you talk about the isosceles position, please? First sentence there. And then we'll read, like through here. It's like, okay, the isosceles position is so named because in this position, the extended arms, when seen from above, resemble an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle, right? It's 2 sides of equal length. So you can, interject, demo that a little bit, show people what have you. And then you kind of go on to, say, the next sentence. So the next person along that line will read the book, and the front 8 people, mind you, have certs, okay? So half the class reading, half doing the drill. So now, okay, let's go ahead. John, can you read that next sentence there? In the isosceles position, the feet are placed at about shoulders width, and the feet and shoulders are square with a target. Boom, right? Now he's basically instructing the 8 people in front of him to, okay, shoulders width, square to the target. So that's really the concept. You march all the way through, people put their books down, and then you have the people who are reading switch with the people in front. So now they can take the certs and do the drill, right? Just a little bit of stance, get that block in, and boom. You can check the box on this. It shouldn't take much more time. It's a great time to start getting people up and moving, and maybe dovetail it as soon as they're done with the break, and then they get back seated in, and you kind of keep going with your curriculum.